Minasan, konbanwa. ちょっと早いだな. I don't know why I want to use my Japanese lately. I should get back into it. I should learn it. I should go back and clean up all of the stuff I forgot. Give me one moment. One moment, please. I actually did a few things before I hit that live button today. Right? Like the cards are already out of their boxes. I've already given them a shuffle. I had another school dream last night, y'all. It was like a mix between like another producer, director, whatever TV show dream, and then it turned into some other kind of production, and then it was just class. And it was like I was in elementary school. There was this one girl, Miranda, who I ain't dreamed about ever, maybe. I ain't thought about in quite a while. Also, there were these other people. There was this one teacher. Then my mom showed up, and it's like she showed up with a bunch of stuff. Like I was moving into the school or something. And it's like I never. It was like elementary school, but it was like higher education. Because I saw one of my old friends there, and I'm pretty sure he just finished like medical school. But in the dream, I was like, "What are you doing here?" He was like, "Well, I figured I would get my master's in this, or I would take these courses until I move on to the next thing." I was like, "What? Okay, so we're not gonna take these. We're just gonna look and note them." We have the throat portal, which is the throat chakra, and releasing. Oh, releasing that throat portal. Releasing is number 32. It's purification, spiritual cleansing, and letting go. The throat portal is number 40, which is speak your truth, courage, and suppression. So, with the throat portal being a 4 and releasing being a 5, the throat portal would come first, and then it would be releasing. Release that throat portal. Let the truth spill forward like water from a glass. I don't know. Alright, so today, what are we looking at? This is going to be the same format as yesterday. I'm going to try to keep this relatively short. So what are we looking at today? Last night, something amazing happened. Y'all know that stick I've kind of sort of had semi-lodged at my butt lately? It came all the way out. I was over... Ooh, the root portal. Okay, girl. So I guess we're going with healing. Well, we'll see. Bottom of the deck. Is this the Guardians? No. Bottom of the deck is challenges. Ooh. This is number 6. Challenges is blocks, fears and negativity, and betrayal. I don't often see the negative cards in this deck too much, honestly. Like exiled, challenges. There's another one. The one with the dragon on it. New rivals. As you fight for survival, nothing can stop you. Dominant Pokemon. The root portal is number 33. It is vitality, stability, and survival, and then fearful. I'm kind of sort of feeling root portal. Root portal. What's an integrated root look like? Okay, so this is going to be more integrated. This is going to be less, and it's already on the side. And I'm going to say this is more integrated because... Hold up, wait. If we're looking at the roots, it's supposed to be in the dark, right? It means that they go further down, closer to the core of the earth. Now, things may actually light up a little bit, because then you get to the molten layer. And when you talk about molten stuff, it always looks like red and shiny and glowy, right? And this is red, but this is going to be more. This is going to be less, because the roots are under the earth, right? These are like beached roots. These are like deep roots. We want a healthy, deep root system to really support us. So this is more integrated. This is less integrated. So let's see what we're going to be looking for. We have vitality, stability, and survival, and then fearful. Vitality is going to be the sun. Stability and survival. Actually, vitality, we're going to do the King of Wands for vitality. For stability and survival, what's that? What's fearful? I'm getting like 8 of Swords for fearful. Because I don't know what's the other scared card. You're afraid. Yeah, I'm getting 8 of Swords for fearful. And then so for stability and survival. Stability and survival. That could be a King of Pentacles. And then I could do the Sun for vitality, like I said. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to do the Sun for vitality. We're going to do the Ruler of Coins for stability and survival. And then we're going to do the 8 of Swords for fearful. I'm going to start over here. But yeah, I was over at Heaney's, and I came in a little late, and I don't know, I was just like in a good mood, I guess. And I was like in the chat, like back how I used to be in the chat, just like making jokes and like light and positive. And then somebody was like, "Oh, Rio's on fire tonight." They were like, "Oh, Rio came with jokes." Somebody was like, "Rio, what sign are you?" I was like, "Ooh, I don't know what's happening." I'm surprised because I feel like I've been like I feel like I've been wound very tightly lately. So it's refreshing to not be, you know. It's refreshing to come back to this side of the energy. Where things are fun, where things are light, where things are free. Y'all wanna see me? I mean, not that it necessarily matters too much. Can y'all even see me? I mean, not that it necessarily, I don't know why I'm looking at the light instead of the camera. There we go. It's starting to balance. Let me get in here. Good morning. Hi. Ohayou gozaimasu. I was gonna say like, Psyche. I've been having a lot of dreams about school. What does the sun look like in this deck? Here comes the sun, do do do. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Do, 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 do. For vitality. I've seen the sun recently. The chariot is with the moon. Okay, Cancerian energy. Everything I do is all about you. It's not something that we're used to. No other way to say I need you every day. And now I'm gonna change my ways. And it's about you. I'm never gonna lose. I'll do anything you want me to. Like any other day, I know I'll find a way. And if ever I'm alone, you say, I've been thinking about you. I haven't heard that song in a minute. Ooh, 2 6s together. What they is? What they is? The 6 of Wands and the 6 of Coins? 6 of Wands and the 6 of Coins. That's reciprocity. That's victory. That's I champion you, you champion me. Together we will be undefeated. Undefeatable. We stand tall over everything. We have been strengthened, made steel. Okay, y'all know now I just gotta check. I usually like to be surprised by what the cards are, but I gotta check and see if, you know, I ain't snatching a card that I'm gonna need later. That was like at the bottom of the deck, y'all. Okay, looking for the sign. So with the root portal it's the foundation that we sort of stand on, right? If our chakras are a beautiful tree, then the root is the roots. It's what lies beneath the surface, things that people can't see, even things that we can't see. It's the sort of subconscious systems and programs that run behind the scenes that influence everything. And I learned Sahaja Yoga, and the Sahaja Yoga meditations, Muhadara, the root is where our sense of innocence comes from, and our purity. No, it's not naive. It's not naivete. It's innocence and it's purity. And that's what the root is. And, ooh, two conquerors together, the conqueror swords and the conqueror wands. Now, masculine energy is still sticking together, ain't it? And then here's the six of swords. Why was the six of swords just randomly in reverse? I don't even think that card came out yesterday. Oh, because when I was shuffling them, some of them slid over. Yeah, I forgot about that. There's Sovereign of Wands with Judgment. Girl, do I got reversals in here or what? These decks won't so bad to be reversed, y'all. I might just do it. After this, I'll let y'all have reverses. Because y'all just keep... Ooh, the 4 and the 5 of swords were together. Y'all just keep flipping these cards over. Time keeps on slipping. How are y'all doing today? I always forget to ask. Into the future. Time keeps on slipping into the future. It's almost freaking August. Oh my goodness. It's like at first every day this year was just kind of sort of bleeding together. And it's not that it necessarily slowed down, but I'm like, how is it almost August? It was just like May. It was just April. What is happening to time? Our friend Time, is she okay? Time is like, I'm trying to get us through 2020. But you see, the thing is, there's so many people that are like, oh, I can't wait until next year, and like, oh, I can't wait until this season, oh, I can't wait until that season, but can't wait till the age of Aquarius. But what are we doing to actually make sure that tomorrow is any different than today? Like, time doesn't change itself. Right? Is this a 5, 6, 7? Well, there's 2 7s. Here's a 6. Oh, that's a seeker. It's a 6, 7, 7. The 6 of Wands, the 7 of Coins, and then the 7 of Wands. Girl. Yeah, this had to be like semi-reversed or something, because this is a lot of cards. Actually, I might have this deck upright, and the cards that are coming out upright could have been the ones that had flipped over when I was shuffling it. But the leverage is up right now, so, you know, that's cool. Let's see. Here's the sign. Okay. Should we leave her in reverse? Nah, we ain't leaving her in reverse. Hold up. Did I just put these down in reverse? Yes, I did. I did not flip these over. Time keeps slipping into the future. Time. I'm actually going to finish going through and turn these upright, so bear with me, everyone, bear with me. Yeah, this was definitely the way this deck was supposed to be, but that's fine. Bottom of the deck is the Ruler of Wands, and we've been seeing him a lot as the proper way, or a more aligned way to go about getting what we want. Now we're going to go for the King of Wands, the Ruler of Wands, and he's already at the bottom of that deck. I'm going to have the timestamp in the description box, and I may come in before I end this video so I can put it in the comments. If I get up and go to the bathroom, or if I need to get up for whatever reason, then I'll just come in on my phone so I can already have it in my history to go back and comment. Now we're looking for that Ruler of Wands. Oh wait, hold up. Oh, that's the Ruler of Coins. I just saw Ruler of and then kept going. And I ended up getting my book. They sent me the PDF last night, so I'll be able to read it on my phone. So we're actually going to read the cards and we're going to integrate the meanings. We're going to see what comes out. Because I actually do really, really like how they describe the cards in this deck. I really like it. Seems like it's a refreshing take, you know? I know there are some tarot purists who have been like, I spent years learning the traditional meanings, and I think things should be traditionally read because I spent time doing it the old way. And then there are some people that are like, well, I have a supreme intuition, and I don't need a book to tell me what these cards mean. I tell me what these cards mean. And I'm just over here like, ¿por qué no los dos? You know what I mean? But I will say that, like, the more you read, you kind of sort of build a relationship between decks and between cards, where it comes to mean something for you in particular. And it's partially contextual, right? It's partially like, oh, every time this comes out for me, it's usually in the context of this situation. So here's a little nugget, and we'll see if it holds true for you, right? It could be a few things. Ooh, the tower just fell right ahead of this Ten of Wands. The tower was behind the Ten of Wands, but it was like, no, I'll fall first, and then we'll get to that Ten of Wands. So someone is definitely at their, I don't want to say their breaking point, but someone's like, I've had enough. I've had enough of this foolishness. Hey, there's the Eight of Swords. We're going to go looking for you in a second. And here's the Ruler of Wands. Ooh. So, now we got, yeah, the Ruler of Wands. Oh, my head. I woke up with a slight headache. I think your girl may be a little dehydrated. But that's fine. I actually want to go, like, vegetarian for the rest of the week. I don't know why. It just came to me yesterday. After my mom dropped off lunch, I was like, yeah, I'm kind of sort of over meat for right now. I don't know. My body just like wants something green and something healthy. And also I've been noticing, because I got all my spices that came in, and we already got the chicken and the tomatoes and everything else for the butter chicken. And I don't know if it's some of the spices or what, but it feels like whenever I eat that, my body actually uses it. Because then I wake up hungry, like really, really, really hungry. And I don't typically wake up hungry. Usually if I wake up hungry, it's because I ate right before I went to sleep and it does something to my stomach. But like my stomach is empty when I wake up. And it was empty today too. So I don't know. I just feel like my body isn't just like, you know, hanging on to things. I feel like it's actually utilizing things and, you know, spitting the rest out. Which is cute, which is what they should do, right? So let's try to find that Ruler of Wands, shall we? I don't know why I was doing it that way, because I've been doing it this way so I can get through them a little quicker. And they don't slide all over the place. Two conquerors together. Come together. Ruler of Coins. Ruler of Swords. Ruler of Wands is the only one we haven't seen. Run. Oh. I feel like my body is like low-key kind of sort of purging, but not really. It's just like it's not hanging on to things that it doesn't need. And it is like fully like getting to the heart of the things that it does. It's like, okay, Oh, she really came that way? I was about to say, girl, where you at? Hello? Are we gonna have another repeat situation of yesterday? Right now. Over me. Now I'm gonna be looking for the Eight of Swords. See, it's like some of this stuff I could just get it set up beforehand. And I know back on my Legacy channel, or it might have been this channel, at one point I was like, all of the stuff before the shuffle, I'm gonna like, when I was uploading it, I was like, I'll have that in a separate video. And then when it comes to the actual shuffle, then I'll put that up. And if anyone cares to watch the whatever I talk about when it comes out, I'll make it unlisted and then just link it in the description box for people who want to go back and see it, right? And I think I may do that again. I might move back over to uploads. I don't know why I come live. I feel like when I come live, if I'm doing a collective reading and I'm live, even if I don't interact or engage with anybody, it helps me be tapped into that space of the collective because it's open to the collective. Now, I title my videos just like 720, 721 live instead of doing like cards, tarot, spreads to limit interaction. Because again, it's like when I'm on it, I'm like, I don't know. It just, like there are some moods where it's like, you know, I can talk. There are some where I'm just like, it's not I want to just get through this, but it's like I want to focus on this. Especially if it's just like some small talk, you know what I mean? Or if I hit one of those points where I'm like, oh, what is this? Then that's when I might like be like, oh. I could save you from distress if you give me a chance, and I would give you the best. Man, I wish I still had that song on my phone. I wish I still had it. But it's fine, we don't look back. The things that were done for a reason, and it's a fresh start. It's a fresh start. So I'm going to do both. We're going to do a mix. We're going to do a hybrid. So the bottom of the deck, after we finish, now the Ten of Coins, no, the Emperor of Wands was the card before all of this. And then the Ten of Coins was the card already at the bottom of the deck. So, girl, she's not showing up. She's like, I did not come to be seen. There we go. So we have the Ten of Coins and we have the Conqueror of Wands, which is that Knight of Wands energy. And again, it's about integrity. So it's about having integrity. Ooh, is that the Ruler of Cups? No, it's the Sovereign of Cups. Okay. It's about the integrity that we display. The stick-to-itiveness. Because when you hold on to the vision, you see things you might not have seen before. Let's straighten up our back. Let's get in this mode. Show me what lesser aligned fear. No, it's interesting because when it comes to the chakras, a lot of times the last blurb is what happens when that chakra is not properly balanced. Right? So that's why on the throat portal it said suppression for the last one. And then we had releasing right after that. Love it. And for this one it says fearful. Where the other ones are like more positive. That's why. So let's see. Looking for the 8. Ooh, the pillar and judgment. Okay. Looking for the 8 of swords. New rivals. What's a Bible? I'm not in competition with anyone. We got 2 10s, 2 conquerors together. Who am I looking for? The 8 of swords. Why these been so close to the top of the deck? I think that is that good? I don't know. What is good? What is bad? Labels. Here we go. Come together. Excuse me. So we have the Three of Swords before. Let's see. See, now over here, y'all can see it a little better because the light situation. But we're going to have the Pillar, which is this Empress energy at the bottom of the deck. And we saw her yesterday, didn't we? Yeah, we did. We did, yeah. Okay. So let's get into this. I'm going to try to get this timestamp. I'm using this instead of OBS to try to get this timestamp. So I'll say it starts around 25:50. We'll just say 26 minutes because by the time I get this out. Excuse me. So, hi, hello there. How are y'all doing today? My name is Patrick. This is the Hierophant. If this is where you join me, welcome. Minasan, konnichiwa, konbanwa, konbanwa, konnichiwa, ohayo gozaimasu. Ohayo gozaimasu, because it's the morning, girl. I'm rusty. She's Totsumo Rusty, Dana. Hi, she is. Okay, so, Mazuwa, first of all, we're going to start with this coddle. So, magical is like Maho something, right? I don't know what dimensions is. I don't know what oracle is, or cards, or activator is. I don't know how to say any of that in Japanese besides Maho. Because, you got your Maho Shoujos, your magical girls. Oof. Okay. Oh, my knees feel like. I don't know. I'm about to get into this, and all of a sudden, I feel like I want to stretch my legs. So maybe if y'all have been a little extra sedentary lately, if you've just been sitting around, just get up and move a little bit, right? Exercise that root by moving your legs. So the root portal, this is her, this is she, this is what she looks like. If you want this view, this is what she looks like. Okay. 1 second. Excuse me. I actually woke up before or after the sun rose today, so it was like 6 something the first time I woke up. So, primal grounding forces connect us with the earth and our tribal beliefs. The root or base chakra is the basis of our energy system and regulates physical harmony and mental and emotional energies of stability, security, and sensuality. Ooh. Our connection runs deeply within Mother Earth, and we must remember to honor the roots that flow to the ground, keeping us connected and stable. Also, the 10th chakra is like the super root, right? It goes like deeper into the ground. So look into the 10th chakra. I know. So when it comes to chakras, it's very interesting because let's finish this first, and then I'll get back to it if I need to, because I'm feeling some type of way lately. The oracle interpretation is your vital energy, chi, or immune system may be depleted, and you need to regain strength by engaging in grounding exercises and or reconnecting to Gaia. You need to stabilize your energy and become grounded. You're always fully supported. All your needs are taken care of. Know this, sorry. Don't let yourself succumb to fear. You're strong and powerful with radiant vitality and confidence. Stand strong on the earth and take good care of yourself. So this is all about self-care. I love it. Because when you have a healthy sense of self-worth, self-awareness, self-love, self-care, all that stuff, self-esteem, um, it's like there are certain ways that like you treat yourself because you care about yourself, right? So maybe just like show you that you care about you. Also, this is about our connection to Gaia, and it's about our energetic sort of basis in the status of our energetic basis. So I guess this would be like more connected to Gaia and ourselves and our energy bodies. This would be less connected to Gaia and ourselves and our energy bodies. More or less, right? That's what I titled these. So what I was going to say about chakras is I feel like there is this over dependence on these energetic systems when it comes to our day-to-day lives, and specifically when it comes to like chakra healing. And it's like all of that it supports and it helps and it reduces and it magnifies, but it's not a substitute for actual work, right? It can make the work easier, but again, and I've said it before, if there are things that we're doing to cause blockages, damage, over spinning or underspinning in our chakras, and if we don't change those behaviors, if we don't address the root causes, we're going to be getting the same issues. So if you go get a chakra healing from this person or that person, or you get like your Reiki energy work done or whatever, and you don't like address whatever's going on, you're going to keep running into the same issues. And also, I feel like there's this like, well, how do I get all my chakras to align? Like, how do I balance all my chakras? Like, I need to go to someone, I need to pay somebody money, and you don't. Um, like the energy system, it's within the body, right? It's connected to the emotions, it's connected to the mental, it's connected to the physical, it's connected to everything else. So if you take care of everything else, your energy system will clean itself, it'll clear itself. It's kind of sort of built to do that, but with the way modern life is and with the way the modern mentality is and what living in a modern world does to the emotional body and all of the stresses that come with it, it prevents the body from all of those self-maintaining mechanisms and abilities that it has, because there's so much environmental interference, and because 9 times out of 10 our focus and attention is primarily directed in the external direction instead of the internal direction. But if you're doing all of that deep healing, if you're doing that mental work, that emotional work on yourself, if you're doing that like physical stuff as well, your energy channels naturally like clear themselves. So you don't have to go and see somebody to do it for you. And it's like 9 times out of 10, or at least for me, it was my experience that I was doing very, 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 very deep work. And it's like my chakras just aligned themselves. And like my Kundalini energy just started flowing. And at first, I didn't even know that it was like my Kundalini energy. Because I was watching videos and like, oh, if you have a Kundalini awakening, like it's going to be intense and you're going to be in the bed for days and you might have to go to the hospital and it's going to be this and it's going to be that. And maybe it's like all of that if you try to force something before the rest of your bodies, physical, mental, emotional, etheric, all of those bodies are ready for it. It's like, forcing the top off of something before it's ready to be opened. And then you end up like breaking the glass, right? But like you can also sort of do it naturally by supporting whatever comes up, right? And once you like sort of work through clearing those through the basic ones, and once your connection expands and you begin to integrate that and you begin to go even deeper into all of your processes, then the higher ones will align themselves as well and sort of light up and open up. It's like life doesn't come with a guidebook, so you don't really need one. It's helpful, but you don't need one as long as you are like, actually taking care of stuff as it comes up. So anyway, I just felt I had to clarify that, especially when we start talking about higher chakras and stuff like that, because even when you're working with the higher chakra, if you're not doing what you need to do, like if there's no behavioral, emotional, or mental change, then you're going to run into the same problems. So that was all of this. I don't know why why the pillar just decided to slide on over. But let's actually start over here. Oh, we just saw you yesterday. And she came out in this deck. Work. Oof, girl, and we saw this card yesterday too, but it came out in the other deck. First is Vitality. So on the lesser aligned side, we have the Ten of Swords and the Conqueror of Coins. The Ten of Swords and the Conqueror of Coins. Now, somewhere else, this may be like, oh my gosh, that's such good energy. Over here, there's the Conqueror of Coins. We saw him yesterday, or her yesterday. And then there's the Ten of Swords, right? One second. Did I? It's fine. Did I turn my camera off when I did that? I know I muted the mic. It's fine. Um. Anyway, this energy is like with the Ten of Swords. That's this ego death that we've had. Um. It's the turning on Caesar, right? It's the Brutus et tu Brute of tarot. This is my et tu Brute. Brutus, you are my best friend. We were supposed to be biffles, girl, and you betrayed me. First knife in my back. Okay. And Brutus is like, girl, you lost it. You lost it. You got all this power and then you lost it. So, I thought we were going to be biffles too, but didn't know you were secretly this monster in waiting, girl, and we're not a fan of that energy. And I had to do what's right for the people. Maybe in our next lifetime you'll be less of a jerk. Anyway, so with the Ten of Swords and with this Knight of Coins, now I've been saying that we need to be in this space where we can, not resurrect ourselves, where we can function with this Ten of Swords. But since we're talking about the root, this Ten of Swords and this Knight of Coins is like there are impurities, there are rocks, there is like poison and pests and all kinds of stuff down in the root system, and we need to get down there and clear it out. We need to get down there and clean it out. This energy also tells me that there's been a long time that we've been operating with these fundamental deficiencies in our system, and so we've adapted to survive in these conditions. And so there are what and it's I don't there's a word that I want to use and I don't know what it is. It's like a weakness in structural integrity. But I want it in like one word and I can't. I feel like it's out there and I can never remember what it is, but there are these vulnerabilities in the structure of our root system that we've adapted to live with, and it's time to let all of that stuff go, right? Now, with the Knight of Pentacles, it could be a few things. Enough time has passed and you found enough success that you don't view these root issues as issues. You don't view these problems as problems. Or, excuse me, more or less, they've worked themselves into your root, right? It's like these things that are not you have become you because the root is underground. And with the Knight of Pentacles, with any earth suit, it's making it one with the earth when it doesn't need to be, right? That's like leaching toxic chemicals into the earth. And then it's like nature just kind of sort of adapts to live with it after a long period of time. But there's something in here that we need to let go so we can regain our sense of innocence, right? So Muhatlita can be what it needs to be. So it's like, it's giving me like a Super Mario Sunshine, an Okami type of vibe, where it's like there's this area that's been defiled, and Mario comes in with the flood, or Okami comes in with her celestial paintbrush, Amaterasu comes in with her celestial paintbrush, and they cleanse the area, and then it becomes radiant again. It becomes shiny and new, like a virgin, right? Untouched. This ground becomes sacred and holy and untouched by man, right? But it can't be that if we continue to carry these things with us down there and allow them to just sort of run wild and fester. Now, I have said recently that some of the deepest and darkest things are being sort of, oh my gosh! Okay, work. That some of the deepest and darkest things that was because I just realized something, are being sort of healed on our behalf. or we're being assisted with this because there's so much that we need to move through. And another thing that I wanted to say, because I was reading this card now, one of the people that I watch on here, she's very spiritual. She contracted COVID and she came back and she was like, I just want to let y'all know that it is very real. I thought it was fake as well. I didn't necessarily believe it either, but then I got it. And when she came and before she came, it's like spirit doesn't do half tests, right? If it's a test, like I think there's like we have this conception of what a test and what a drill is, and then spirit has a conception of what a test and what a drill is. Now, a test, a drill, an evaluation, an examination when it comes to spirit is real life. It's how you handle real life. It's not like, oh, I'm going to scare you into thinking that, something is going on. It actually isn't. It's not, we're going to pretend like something is going on, even though it isn't. Like when you have a fire drill and there's no actual fire. It's like, no, this is the fire drill. The building is on fire. The fire is real. And it's like some people are sort of in this mindset like, oh, I know it's a drill, or oh, it looks planned, or oh, there's something about this that seems orchestrated. And it's like, okay, but regardless of all that, it's still real. So, treat it as such. And it's like if you get hit, don't be surprised. Even if you do prepare, even if you do, like there are people who aren't in fear, who are knowledgeable and aware of what's going on, and they still get it. So, like, spirit doesn't do half tests. We don't do that fire drill type thing. We set buildings on fire, right? The fire drill is the tower, and those people are jumping out of the building. That's the test from spirit. Tower moments, it's an actual tower. It's not like make believe. So do with that information what you will. Because I'm like, for some reason it just popped, and I'm pretty sure it was before she even made that video. Because I was just thinking about it. And it was like, we don't do half tests. We don't do fake. We, like, anything issued by spirit or given the okay by spirit is real. And it just so happened that oppositional energies wanted the same thing to happen, to put everyone in fear and to try to maintain the foothold that it has in the world while that energy is on its way out. And spirit agreed to it because of what it does on the other end as well. So, yeah. And she was like, don't judge me. And I was like, ooh, girl. It's really real. It's real out there. Oh, it's 11:11 on my laptop. It's 11:11 Eastern. I just looked at my phone and it was 10:11. And I was like, oh, I missed 10:10. But then I was like, my laptop, though, still on Eastern time. So a more healed brood over here, more integrated. We have... Girl, who are you? The Two of Swords and the Seven of Swords. Now, the 2 and the 7 is a 9, and a 9 is a number of completion. The 2 of Swords is about impasse and indecision, typically. And the 7 of Swords is about sort of deception. Now, there are some things that can't be stolen, right? But it's like they can't be stolen, but they can't be hidden. And so you can make someone think that you took something from them, and in their loss of it, they do whatever. But I'm feeling this Two of Swords and the Seven of Swords as like choosing what we focus on. And instead of looking at what's missing, we look at what's there, right? Because it's like sometimes if you're just trying to think of what isn't there, you can't catch it. You won't notice it. But when you sit down to start working, or when you go through what you do have, then you may notice it. If you have an inventory, right, and you check it against the inventory, then you're like, oh, this is what's missing. And then you're like, wait, didn't somebody ask me for this the other day? And then they gave it back, and I was on the phone. And then that's when Bobby had gotten into the cookies and accidentally knocked the jar over. So I put the thing down on the couch to run over and make sure he was okay. And then the cat came by and was on the couch and was messing with stuff. And then she was trying to get under the couch for some reason. So maybe the thing is under the couch, and then you look under the couch and it's right there, right? Like, it's not stolen, it's not taken, it's just a series of events that happened that for whatever reason you're overlooking it. And that's the Two of Swords and the Seven of Swords. Let's see if I can get these in here, since they don't want to show up on the other one. It's like I can get the light cards to show up today, but not the dark cards. It's fine. There we go. There we go. There's something in here. I said I was going to get into the book, and I actually do want to get into the book. But when this comes to vitality, right? And I didn't even look at this. So the reason why this affects our vitality is because when our root system has these deficiencies, and when the roots are malnourished, it affects our ability to grow, right? Like, if you don't have any energy, you're probably not going to be able to run a marathon. And so it directly affects your vitality, right? If there are certain things that you don't permit and allow yourself to do because you still have some root traumas that you haven't healed through, or there are certain things that you hold on to as strength, that's another thing. There were certain experiences that you had, and so there are certain behaviors that you pick up regarding and relating to those experiences. And so you find a sort of sense of strength in order to prevent such occurrences from happening again. Now you reach a certain point where you heal and you want to come into brighter spaces. You want to elevate your life game. And there are certain traumas that you kind of sort of need to let go. There are certain strengths that are rooted in something that you don't need anymore, because now you can have strengths rooted in lighter things. And this is the decision to keep those mindsets, even though they're no longer serving you, because they used to serve you. But it limits you from getting the best and the brightest and getting the new stuff that you're coming into. And again, that's how it sort of affects your vitality, right? And I'm not necessarily feeling vitality as like your stamina and your energy levels, and it could be. But again, it's like you're holding on to mental, emotional weight that you don't necessarily need to be holding on to anymore. And I forgot that I said I was going to get into the book. And so since we got the Two and the Seven of Swords, like, let's get into these, shall we? Right, and the Two of Seven of Swords, it's also the energy of like, I'm going to choose to focus on things that I can control. And so from that space of control that we can exhibit, not that we necessarily need to control everything, but it gives us the ability to like choose the brighter side if we need to, while still addressing what is missing. So the Two of Swords is reflection and solitude. The Two of Swords indicates some denial. There is difficulty in seeing the situation at hand with clarity, which is also preventing you from finding a solution. There are two paths you can take, and possibly neither of them seem ideal, or perhaps you are afraid to address it, but it is time to do so. This is addressing it. Getting to know our deeper feelings is healthy and allows us to lead fuller, more joy-centered lives despite moments of discomfort. If you are repressing your feelings, it is time to acknowledge them and give voice to them. When swords crop up, they can often indicate tension with emotions, but we know there are ways of dealing with this to make it smoother and feel safer for us. First, examine your relationship with feelings, confrontations, problems, and denial. What is the pattern at play? How do they make you feel? After reflecting, try dropping into your body. See if you can locate where the discomfort lives. There may be a place within you that holds some painful experiences that need to be tended to as you create new, healthier patterns. Make sure you find a place within your body that feels safe and secure that you can retreat to when you need it. That was the Two of Swords. Now let's go over to the Seven. Seven of Swords is deception and sneakiness. The Seven of Swords signals something underhanded. You, or someone else, is trying to get away with something or is being deceptive. There are instances where this may be absolutely necessary and life saving, i.e., leaving abusive partners or family. If this is you, have faith that your plans are going to work, but continue to protect them. If this is not you, you need to pause and examine. This card warns against the impulsiveness that arises within us when we are trying to get away with something. Hindsight, Epimetheus. Hindsight typically proves that reactiveness does not bring about the most ideal results. When we are triggered and wanting to be deceitful in response, we are in the middle of an inherited pattern that we've adopted to survive. For example, an abusive father will get mad at little things, and as a means of survival, you have to sneak around to avoid his wrath. While for you it may not have been so severe, somewhere along the line, the message, I cannot address this head on because people will no longer like slash love slash approve slash respect slash etc. me, was absorbed. It is engaging in this pattern unconsciously that solidifies it. Bring it bring awareness to it and it will be easier to move through. And that's kind of sort of what's limiting our vitality right now. Vitality related to the sun being how bright we can shine and what we can attract into our lives. The positivity, the joy, right? This is us not addressing that. This is us addressing that, right? And I think the Two of Swords and the Seven of Swords, so coming to a more integrated side, again, it may not necessarily be the case that we never have those thoughts and we never get tempted to fall into old behaviors. But the Two of Swords is there to put a block, to put a stop to whatever that Seven of Swords deceptive sneakiness was, right? If that was us sort of acting out in ways, especially like if these situations are over, when it's safe to, right? That's why with the Two of Swords, it was like, drop into your body, see where the pain is, and then feel where the safe spaces are, right? And so if something comes up, there's like, okay, is this triggering where the pain is or not, right? Can I look at this and still be in my safe space, or is it that severe? Because that's the thing with trauma and repeated events. Like we get triggered and we go back to the initial trauma, and the trigger may or may not be necessary. And that's another thing about modern life and why our energy systems and our emotional and mental systems are so effed up. It's because, back in the day, whenever your fight or flight response was triggered, it was probably because you were getting chased by a dinosaur, right? Or a large predator or whatever. But it's like nowadays we have these same responses to like everyday things: stress, anxiety, worry, depression. More anxiety and stress, I feel, than depression, but depression is also in there. Work, being late, this boss, like, I don't want to lose my job, or, oh, I'll get chewed out if I do this wrong. Like, there are so many moments where we're just like stressed and like we take it on and we're constantly stressed day in and day out. And we never really release the tension fully, right? Because then you go to bed, you wake up, and it's the same thing the next day. You go home, and then there are things at home that might stress you out, right? It's always stressed, and it weakens your immune system, it weakens your energy, emotional, mental bodies, it weakens your physical body. And that's one thing that the lockdown sort of gave us the opportunity to tap into. And I'm pretty sure I mentioned that um, a while ago, but it was like, unfortunately, where we could have had these moments to de stress and to take care of the things that we needed to. We have all, if you fell into the fear, you have the fear of the virus. You have the potential at the loss of your home, or how are you going to feed your family, or how are you going to pay your bills if you were out of work. It's like there were other things to stress us where we could have been sort of taken advantage of that moment to not be so wrapped up in our everyday day-to-day lives. Now, some people were fortunate enough to maybe do that, right? Other people chose that mindset even if they were less fortunate in whatever way that looked like for them. And other people were more realistic, and there's nothing wrong with being realistic. Um, But that's what it is. It's realistic. It's looking at your current situation, the past situation, and projecting all of that forward instead of tapping into the limitless potential of what could be and bringing that to you. Um, and right, it's real life, so that's why I'm like, it is what it is. Um, there isn't necessarily a bad way, but I don't know. This Three of Wands again, I actually want to read the Three of Wands. So we have the Three of Wands and the Conqueror of Cups that comes out under stability and survival. The Three of Wands and the Conqueror of Cups, this is kind of sort of giving me like I'm gonna win, like playing the lottery energy. Um, right, leaving it up to fate, leaving it up to chance. The Three of Wands with this Conqueror of Cups, it's like, because the Three of Wands is a card of wanting, it's a card of wishing, it's a card of waiting, right? The Three of Wands kind of, it isn't always a card of action, and so there's no action here when it comes to our stability and survival. There's this, it almost feels like this lottery energy, or like this passing it off energy. It's like we're passing our worries and our cares and our concerns over to spirit, which is fine, but when we get answers, we're not doing anything with it, right? It's like we're wanting a solution and we're not going to take anything less than a solution. And a lot of times it would appear that a solution comes in the form of getting everything you want without having to do anything. And sometimes you got to do stuff, right? The Three of Wands isn't the Ten of Wands. That's not the end of the journey. You don't stop the wand suit waiting for your ships to come in, wishing for something to happen, or trying to manifest something. Like, you don't. It's not even the completion of this journey. At least with the Four of Wands, you get to celebrate something. You know what I mean? It's like you ain't even made it to the four yet. Let's see. Like I said, I do want to read that too. That Three of Wands, because I saw it yesterday, and I want to see if it says what these coins are. It might not, but I'm interested. Color me intrigued. Three of Wands says opportunity, expansion, and action. It says action here. The Three of Wands indicates that you are on the right path and have laid the necessary foundations for your venture to be successful. The plans you've created have provided the perfect container for you to take action and move forward. With this, you may be presented with new or unexpected opportunities. This can create rapid expansion, but it is important to remember that not all opportunities are created equal. Some will push you out of your comfort zone and will be good for you in the long term, whereas others may not be in alignment with you and your core work. And I feel like this is kind of sort of that others energy, right? It's the lesser aligned. So it may seem like I'm forcing it a little bit, but the intention over here is lesser aligned energy, right? And with lesser aligned energy, sometimes, and with the divine feminine yesterday, sometimes the lesser aligned energy feels like what we should be doing or what we've been told to do. But that's like, if we're trying to graduate from elementary school, the easy route, the hand holding, we got to stop. And we're coming into new energy, right? So the limitations in the 5D are different than the 3D. The limitations in the world that we're creating now, literally, the world that we're coming into, they're going to be different from the limitations that we had in the old world, right? Like, one simple example is there are going to be a lot of people who may be getting remote work now. Whereas in the past, there were companies that were like, oh, we can't do that because of this and we can't do that because of that. But now that they've had to do it, they may find that there's actually benefits, right? And so if you liked your job, but you wanted to work remote and you couldn't decide, for example, and you had this limitation in the old world, well, in this new world, you don't have that limitation. You can have your job and you can work remote, right? And if you have your job and you can work remote, you may be able to work mobile, right? You may be able to travel a little bit more now and still work and still make money and still keep your job, right? So it's like the possibilities for your life are expanding. That's one example, but they're expanding in many ways. And one second. Okay. I don't know what that was or is. I'm like talking and I feel this wheeze. And I'm like, what is this wheeze, girl? We ain't, So, yeah, the limitations are being removed and the possibilities are expanding, even through the disastrous effects of what we've seen. Because humans are made to adapt and survive as a species, as a whole. But they also have free will, so they could choose to not survive if they want, and we could all die. But we're not gonna do that, guys. Come on. And I think that's. I'll keep reading it. Oh, yeah, I will. Opportunities, not all opportunities are created equal. Some will push you out of your comfort zone and will be good for you in the long term, whereas others may not be in alignment with you in your core work. Now is not the time to get caught up in quick results. Pace yourself for long term success by making calculated choices. Examine the benefits if it feels in alignment and whether you see it fitting in long term. Check in with your body. What does a yes feel like in your body? What does a no feel like? Get to know your internal compass so when opportunities come at you, you can make informed and aligned decisions. Staying grounded within yourself and your vision will prevent you from being carried away. Now, the advice is to stay grounded, but if your foundation is rotten, has rotted, if your foundation is malnourished, if your foundations can't support the life that you're trying to build for yourself, you're not going to, this energy isn't going to work for you, right? And so with this, it's like this energy isn't necessarily, and again, it kind of sort of came up in the divine feminine, I feel. It's like this energy in and of itself isn't necessarily like bad or lesser aligned, but you can't do this if your foundation isn't good. And so to do this when your foundation is messed up, it defeats the purpose and the point of what you're trying to do. And since you don't have things taken care of on the back end, it may have you feeling some type of way on the front end. But in reality, especially if something is constantly being shown to you as something that you need to address, and if you've been ignoring it and ignoring it and trying to move forward and pretend like it's not there and manifest whatever regardless, you're not going to get it. But then you're going to be like, well, why doesn't the secret work? Why doesn't the law of attraction work? Why am I still doing this? Why is spirit lying to me? It's like, girl, spirit ain't lying to you, but you need to listen to all the spirit. You can't pick and choose which parts you want and which ones will work for you and which ones won't work for you, because that's not how it works. And then we have the Conqueror of Cups. Let's go ahead and read her, because why not? This will be a little bit longer, but that's fine. I'm just so interested to see what their perspective is. I love how they write the meanings for these. And I'm like, and they reply like within a day. I had my PDF. I'm like, yes, thank you. So I can actually read these. And then they were even like, let me know if this doesn't work. And I'm like, yes, folks who care. So this is romantic, charming, and emotional. The Conqueror of Cups brings rapid movement to our emotions. If this represents a project or a situation, you are ready to move forward with action as opposed to simply dreaming about it. You are heart-centered and leading with feeling, which isn't a bad thing, but is something to check in on once in a while. Now, we're going to stop this there because I feel like, again, we're trying to do this, but we haven't taken care of the prerequisites, right? And what that is, like, are we heart-centered? Are we leading with feeling? Are we really, right? And not just like this on the surface level, like, yeah. And again, what was mentioned over here, I believe, it's like these feelings aren't always easy. It's not to always be happy. And it's not to always be on the sunshine and rainbows part of it, but it's to be constantly moving. So if you're not in sunshine and rainbows, girl, it's about moving until you get back to sunshine and rainbows, right? It's like we're gonna go through storms, we're gonna go through trials, we're gonna go through tower moments. And now my voice is trying to go out. It's fine. But we don't stop there. Right? That's not where our journey ends. It ain't where mine ends, at least. If I'm going through a storm or a tower moment or a trial, girl, you best believe I'm still moving. I'm going to keep it moving and I'm going to integrate as much as I can along the way, right? Now, if I feel like I need to stop and really dig into it and be like, what am I missing? What am I not seeing? Where is the, like, what is that detriment? What is that play here? Because I don't want to move on before I get it, because then I'm going to have to repeat it. And I'm not about that life. Or I try not to be about that life. I try to limit the amount of that life that I experience, is what I'll say. And so that's why I just keep on moving. Just like Dory Girl, we keep swimming. Just like the Robinsons, we keep moving forwards. And then over here we have the Ace of Wands and the Conqueror of Cups. The Conqueror of Cups came out both times. Now let's see where the key difference is. Over here we have the Ace of Wands. We got that new. We got the power. Over here we got the Three of Wands. We want the power. Waiting for the power. Still waiting for the power. Where is the power? Is the power on its way? Is there any power to even be had? What is power? I'm going home, right? And this person going home, this person like, I got the power. Right? And it's like, you can wait for spirit to move all day, girl. That's what the Knight of, I'm feeling the Conqueror of Cups is like spirit bringing it to us, whatever it is. But spirit only brings it if you've placed the order, if you've made your payment, if you have your address put in correctly, they know where to ship it, if they have it in stock, right? If they got it in stock for you. Because, like, there's a difference between, oh, yeah, we have this in stock, and, like, we have this in stock for you. It's like, oh, they'd be like, oh, it's out of stock. But, like, but I just saw someone, like, bring this from the back for someone else. It's like, oh, it's out of stock for you. And then you're like, what? Excuse me? What does that mean? And you getting all offended and stuff. And it's like, well, we told you what you had to do to get this, ma'am. There's a limited supply, and you still haven't done what we need you to do. And we still have some in the back, but again, we still need you to do that part before we can give it to you, because we have to count these in a special way or whatever. I don't know. And you're like, well, I don't feel like doing it. And they're like, okay, well, so you're not going to get it. And then you're like, why not? And then you get upset all over again. And then Spirit is like, girl, I'm not doing this back and forth with you. Bye. And then you get escorted out the premises. And now you arguing with the building, not even arguing with the person anymore. You're arguing with the building, trying to be like, why can't I get whatever? And it's like, because you ain't done whatever. Anyway, it is interesting that the Conqueror of Cups came out both times. Because with stability and survival, it's like, Spirit is always there to help us. But again, the limitations that we put on ourselves because of the limitations that we project from whatever they stem from will control and limit and restrict what we are given and granted access to. Right? And again, it's like, this is an energy of proving yourself responsible up here. With the Two of Swords and the Seven of Swords, it's like, even if you have that Seven of Swords impulse, with that Two of Swords, you have it under control, right? This is about you being in control of you. And that's another thing that the root as a foundation will do. It's like, it puts us in a space to safeguard and gatekeep our own vibration. And it's not safeguarding and gatekeeping by what comes through our minds, but it's safeguarding and gatekeeping through what we say, what we entertain, and what we give energy to, right? And then if we're only giving energy to the better things, and if we're dismissing the lesser things, then, like, your plant grows better. It's not that, like, shocking, right? And so that's this over here. And that's why this is just waiting, because it's like, did you even do the work? Really? But over here, again, it's like, this is the power being given. We got the power. This is it being granted to us because we were found deserving. And then this is not only surviving, this is thriving. This is stability and thriving. Thrability and thriving instead of stability and surviving. It's thrability and thriving, right? And so last but not least, we have fearful. So with fearful over here, we have the Seven of Cups and we have the Six of Wands. With the Seven of Cups and the Six of Wands, and the Three of Wands said it best. Not all choices are created equal. Not all options are created equal. And this fearful, it's clarifying this, right? Because I was like, this energy in and of itself isn't necessarily bad. Or there's a higher way to read this. But with the lesser aligned, that's what we're going to look at. And with the Seven of Cups and the Six of Pentacles, to me, this is saying that we're making the easy choices. We're taking the easy options, the easy way out, the easy road. We're not wanting to put in any actual work. We're not wanting to do anything significant to get what we actually want or to get what we say we want. And so since we're not doing anything significant to get it, since we're not actually doing what it is that we need to do, we're not going to get what it is that we actually want to get. It's like the Six of Pentacles. You're not going to get more from Spirit than you put into Spirit, right? You're not. Now, depending on what spirits you go to, you may find a spirit that will give you a whole bunch of stuff. But you best believe there will come a day when that spirit comes to collect. Because those are the spirits that will give you something up front, right? But then they won't tell you how much it costs. So then it's like, here you go. You can, have it free for 30 seconds. And you're like, for what? 30 seconds. It's like 30 days. I get it free for 30 days and then I get to return it if I don't like it. And so, like 29 and a half days pass and you try to return it and they're like, oh no, there aren't any returns. We said you get it free for 30 seconds. And you're like, what? I was like, yeah, you didn't hear me? I said 30 seconds. You just assumed it was 30 days. So you're stuck with that and we're coming to collect tomorrow. And you're like, but I can't afford it. It was like, oh, sorry, that's not our problem. You shouldn't have taken it home if you can't afford it. And then you sit there feeling like boo boo the foo, and then they sit there like, got another one. And it's like, ultimately in reality, you should have known, like, whatever you're asking for doesn't come this easy. Now, that's not to say that life has to be a struggle, because it doesn't have to be. But if you're unaligned, it probably will be. When you're aligned, when you've done the work, when you've healed, when you've got that integrity, then like, yeah, sure, life can be easy and you get everything you want, right? But you probably still got to do a little bit to get it. You'll be guided to where to go to get it. Right? It won't be hard, but there's things that you still have to do, and that's why you got the power with the Ace of Wands. You can make it happen, right? And you're aligned enough to know what to make happen and what to avoid and not make happen. But yeah, that's what the Seven of Cups and the Six of Wands is. This is picking the easy choice, and there are 6 wands and 6 cups, and then there's this one cup above all the other ones, if y'all can see it. There's one cup above all the other ones, and then there's these 6 cups down there. And it's like, you're not getting the higher cup if you're not, like, it's the more difficult one, and you only make the easy choices. So, like, this card said it in and of itself. And maybe there is some fear here related to whatever structural deficiencies you have, right? Maybe it's like you don't think that you can be yourself, or you don't think you can be authentic, which is being yourself, or you don't think you can be heard, you don't think you can do what you want, because in the past, for whatever reason, or growing up, every time you spoke, every time you tried to do something you wanted, you were met with some kind of opposition, regardless of the severity. And so now you've kind of sort of grown up with this like not crab in the barrel, but clam in the shell mentality, where it's like you're always closed up. And in reality, it's like there's this beautiful pearl that's being made within you, But if you never open up, no one would ever know. You would never know, right? And that's what clams do. They make pearls to sort of mitigate the irritation that they feel from the sand that gets trapped in them, right? And then it like calcifies and it does all this other stuff and it turns into a pearl by the end of the day. And that's exactly what this is. This is us trying to mitigate like confrontation and irritation by adapting and making ourselves as comfortable as we can with this in us. But if you never get rid of the pearl, regardless of how it feels in you, you still have that thing in you. Like the sand is still in there. It's at the heart of the pearl, but it's still in you. And you can't get out of this energy with this pearl still in you. And you can't get rid of the pearl if you never open up. Right? And that's the thing about pearls. The clam is like, I don't need this. No, I think people kind of kill the clams to get the pearls, which is unfortunate. Maybe they should try tickling the clams, and then they'll just like start laughing and it'll just fall out, and then they can throw the clam back in the water. I don't know. But it's like with the pearl, it is no use to the clam, right? The clams don't need pearls. The clams make the pearls, and they don't even want them probably. It's like the pearl is just the end result of this thing that I had to deal with. And it's like it better serves other people than it will serve you. So maybe you can use that in some way as part of your mission, as part of your life work to prevent other people from going through it or to help other people who are going through it, right? Because you've turned it into a pearl of knowledge, a pearl of wisdom, a pearl of how to get through this experience, but also a pearl of how to come out of it. A pearl of how to leave the trauma behind and how to move forward with your life, right? The actual pearls, right? But you can't do that if you're not vulnerable, if you're not open to it. And it also asked you about the heart. Are you connected to the heart? You know, are you feeling from the heart when it comes to doing this? And then you got the Conqueror of Cups, who was led by the heart. So with that being spirit, it's like the heart calls to spirit to fulfill whatever you want fulfilled. And so if your heart ain't open, you can never place the order. Or the order, like it's like the line isn't clear, and so you may get something that you don't actually want because it's not a clear line of communication. And it's like they send you, I don't know, a biscuit, and you said on the phone, I don't want a biscuit, don't send me a biscuit, but all I hear is, I want biscuit, send biscuit, right? That's what they hear because it's not a clear line of communication. Now down here, on this side of fearful, we have the sun. I don't even think, did I see this? We have the sun and the 6 of coins. Girl, this is the opposite of whatever this is. The sun and the 6 of coins. Let's see, let's try up here. Maybe not. Girl, well, let's bring this back here and let's try again. Excuse me. I only have one light on today, trying to make this a little easier to see. There we go. The 6 of coins and the whole gosh darn sun. Now the sun is the card we looked for the first time, right? In the space of vitality. And so now it's like where we stop ourselves up here from doing things that will take us off of our path. When we come into this self-governance, then we're given our territories can expand. And now with the sun, it's like we're coming back up here. So we're actually getting the brighter side because we're stopping ourselves from going to the darker side. Over here, there are no like self boundaries, right? We're kind of sort of stuck on the darker side over here because that's the space that this knight moves from. It's like this knight is carrying it with him, right? It's like, when's the last time you washed the hooves of your horse? Because it's like tracking poop all over the place that isn't fertilizing anything. It's just making things worse. Or it's tracking fire. The Knight of Pentacles horse is tracking fire through the fields that it's trying to plant seeds in. It's like, how do you track fire anyway? Did you take the horse of the Knight of Pentacles, or the Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Pentacles is like, yeah, I'm borrowing the horse from the Knight of Wands because my horse is too slow. And I want something quick, and I want it now. I'm tired of being slow. I'm tired of being the slow knight. I want to be the fast knight today. But this Knight of Pentacles doesn't have any control over the element of fire. And so it's coming out of the horse, and he can't control it, but he's like, it's fine because, I'm moving faster. But anything that this knight is planting, the hooves of the horse are burning. So nothing can take root over here. But over here, we get the whole gosh darn sun with the 6 of Pentacles. So it's like you get out what you put in. Over here, we putting in a lot of light. We putting in that sunlight. We putting in that work. We putting in that time, that energy, that effort. This is that Knight of Pentacles that's like, you know what? Some things need to be taken slower. Just like a good, slow roasted vegetable stew. The slower the roast, the better the taste. It brings out the flavors. And this Knight is like, I don't want flavors anymore. I want to eat now. I don't care if it's scorched and burnt. It's like, okay, girl, well. If you would have set the slow roaster on last night, when you had the first mind to, you would have had food for now. And then you can have another slow roast on for later. Right? If you're always roasting, then you can pull one out and put another one in. And then you got something to eat now. It's about forethought. That is hindsight inspired, but goes beyond. Right? That's what the 2 of Swords and the 7 of Swords is. It's choosing to see beyond the deception and the limitation. It's choosing to have a vision that pierces right through the heart of the veil. It pierces through the heart of the illusion, and it ends up on the other side of the veil. Right? And it's like, as a result, this clarity, this vitality, this life is being given to you. Because it's what you put into it. You did the work, you get the rewards. Right? So that's where I'm going to end this. We're going to shuffle this out. And it's interesting that that came out on Fearful. So I'm not necessarily feeling fearful like, oh my gosh, I'm terrified. I'm feeling fearful more like limited thinking, right? Because of the experiences that happened in the past. And when you allow your past that much weight, it has a hold on your future because you put it there. It only restricts you if you allow it to. And in order to not allow it to restrict you, you have to look at the different ways in which it restricts you, and you have to choose to remove it. Some things are really painful to remove, I get it. But at the end of the day, if you want them gone, you gotta remove them. If you want to get to where you're going, sometimes you gotta make the hard choice. Ooh, the sun came out with that 6 of Pentacles. I was like, need I say more? Hello? Because again, it's what you give your energy to. We saw it with the 2 of Swords and the 7 of Swords. It comes back out with the 6 of Coins and the Sun. Because of what you gave your energy to, this is what you will get back. You get back the sun because you chose to stop chasing moons and discover your own light instead of the light that other people would have you shine. It's like, no, I'm good. I got my own light. Thanks, though. Bottom of the deck is the Worlds. And I only looked at the bottom of the deck because I guess I shuffled these like this. Let me see if I can get this in here. There we go. Bottom of the deck is the World. We are the champions, my friends. And we will keep fighting. We'll keep fighting. We'll keep vibing high and thriving. Yeah. That was an interesting shuffle. There we go. Well, I thought. Or so he thought. You thought. Okay. Last card. Ooh, that was quick. Let's see what it is. Illumination. Huh. With that sun card coming out. Again, illuminating the things in the dark that need to be illuminated. So you can root them out. You don't know what to root out if you don't illuminate it, right? Otherwise, you're trying to illuminate or eliminate shadows. And it's like, That snake that you just thought you got rid of, that was a piece of string that was holding some stuff together that you needed to be held together. And since you didn't turn on the light when you went down there and started fumbling around, now things are falling apart because that string again kept it together. So now not only do you got to take the string back down there, but you got to pick up the pieces and then you got to tie it back up. Right? Turn on the light. See if it's a snake or a string. Right? Is it a good snake or a bad snake? Is this an aggressive snake that's also, venomous, that's trying to bite you? Or is this a snake like a garter snake that's just, in there chilling because this is where it lives and it's its natural habitat and environment? Right? It's like, are you a good witch or a bad witch? What was that? I guess that could have been the Wizard of Oz. When she was like, look at me, girl. Do you not know your modern day stereotypes? I'm Glinda. You see my pink dress? You see my crown? You see my puffy shoulders? You see my complexion, girl? Obviously, I'm the good witch. The bad witch is the green one that wears black. Don't you know anything? Then, you got the wicked witch over there like, oof, girl. She over there telling Dorothy all them lies. It's like, yeah, she the good witch until you cross her. She the good witch as long as you playing the game that she wants you to play. But as soon as you try to open your eyes or question anything, you'll see her true colors. Oh, when she controls the narrative, the story she tells. This is number 23. We saw 32. 32 was, I don't remember. We have the throat portal in releasing. The throat portal was the 4. Releasing was the 5. Yeah. I remembered. Oh my gosh. Who am I? So, number 23. This is expression, positivity, and joy, and inspiration, illumination. This is that sunlight. This is everything encompassed within that vitality of the sun when you have a healthy root. This is what a healthy root supports. This is what an unhealthy root limits. An unhealthy root limits your expression, limits your positivity and joy, and limits your inspiration. And you may say, expression, that sounds like solar plexus. Inspiration, that sounds like the crown. Positivity and joy, that sounds like the sacral and the heart. And it's like, yeah, because the root precedes and affects all of that. If the root system is effed up, you're going to get a stunted tree. And, bonsai is a thing, but is that tree bonsai intentionally? Or does it just look bonsai'd? How is there a natural bonsai tree in the wild, right? Bonsai trees are only bonsai'd because they're confined to small pots. You shouldn't be bonsaiing trees in the wild. There's something wrong with the nutrients that plant is growing if it stops at that size. I'm sorry. Lighter energy. It's like, I get a little stern because I actually care. And this is how I got a lot of earth in my chart, okay? And some air in my chart. This is how I express care. Right? Because it's not enough for me to just want and wish for people to do better. Because if you don't do what you need to do to actually get better, you're never going to be better. And I'm not in the energy of, what do they call it? It's not inhibiting. Enabling. I'm not in the energy of enabling anymore. Right? Enabling time is over. Spirit ain't hold no hands, and I'm not holding no hands anymore either. And I know sometimes I try to soften stuff, and I'll be like, oh, well, It's like, nah, we don't, nope, sorry. The times are too critical for that. It would be such a disservice because there are these major things that are available. And again, it would be such a disservice to not speak straight, right? And I still try to throw in some compassion when I can, but ultimately at the end of the day, we're in charge of ourselves. And we have been forever, but especially now. Let's just pull the card off the top. So, that 3 of Wands, the bottom of the deck is the Conqueror of Cups. So we have officially split the 3 of Wands. Oh, there you go. We've officially split the 3 of Wands from this Conqueror of Cups. Conqueror of Cups is at the bottom of the deck. So again, Spirit is going to give to you what you put in. You can only get out of life what you put into it. There is no cheat code. There is no infinite money glitch. Infinite money happens when you're in infinite money consciousness, when you're in infinite money awareness, and when you are infinite money aligned. Right? You got to be aligned for the infinite money code to work. There's a certain part of the game that you have to reach. It reminds me of Bayonetta. In Bayonetta, they had a lot of like phone booth cheat codes, but there was a certain part of the game that you had to reach to get to the phone booth, right? It's like you can't start the game trying to put in all these cheat codes. You at least got to get to the phone booth before you can phone a friend, right? This ain't telepathy don't work over here, right? This isn't like, oh, I'd like to phone a friend. And it's like, okay, here's the phone. Call your friend. What's your friend's number? I'd like to phone a friend. It's like, okay, sure. What's your friend's number? I'd like to phone a friend. It's like, well, can I get a name for the friend if you can't give me the number? Maybe we can look it up in the yellow pages, the white pages. I'd like to phone a friend. It's like, can you say anything besides I would like to phone a friend? I would like to phone a friend. And then it was like, okay. All right, moving on to the next contestant. And then you're upset. And you're like, I would like to phone a friend. 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 And they're like, girl, next. All right. Now we have, ooh, girl. Oh, it's the Nine of Swords. I thought that was something else. The Nine of Swords in the bottom of the deck is the Ten of Cups. Ooh. Let's see. Yes, there she is. Got the Ten of Cups at the bottom of the deck, girl. Now, yesterday, the Ten of Cups wasn't all that. Today, the Ten of Cups is good. The Ten of Cups is good because now we're choosing to look at the higher outcome. With that eye, right? We're choosing to look at the higher outcome, and that's where we're putting all of our hopes and desires and wishes. And it's not that we're ignoring, but we're not giving energy to the lower outcome. We're just not feeding into it anymore, right? It's not necessary, right? That's the Two of Swords and the Seven of Swords. It's like, I will obstruct my vision when it comes to that. I will hear what you have to say. Okay, now I'm still moving forward because you're not detracting me. You're not taking me off my path, right? I want a sun, so I'm giving light. If I want a whole gosh darn sun, I might have to shine a little bright, and that's what I'm going to do. And then, again, top of the deck, we got the Nine of Swords, and I'm feeling the Nine of Swords. This is fixed. It's a fixed vision. Everything is held in place by these swords, right? The eyes, pierced by the swords. The crown, pierced by the swords. There we go. And then we have the skull. The skull is transformation, right? It's like, I'm not going back. That old me is dead. Sorry, not sorry. It's not happening. That's not gonna happen. I see you trying to distract me and take me off my path. Right? That's that swipe or no swiping energy. That's that that's that Roadrunner, Wile E. Coyote type of energy. Again, where the Roadrunner is like, Wile E. Coyote is literally the only person I ever see out here. So if I see anything out here, I know it's probably that gosh darn coyote. And I don't know why he don't just go order a sandwich from Jimmy John's, because he ain't eating me. His belly gonna be touching his back if he keep trying to catch this one, because I'm too quick and I'm too witty and I'm too smart, girl, and I can see right through ya. Yeah, obvious. And then devil energy is like, oh, well, I had to try. And it's like, yeah, I know you had to try. So, I don't know. Thanks for doing your part. You sure are smart. But I'm smarter. It's like, I don't know. Try a more subtle approach next time. I mean, I'll still get you, but, I don't know. And it may be like, how many people did you get with this? It's like, I've actually gotten a lot of people with this one. Like, you'd be surprised how many people I get with this one. And then, like, you don't believe it until you see all the people that it got with that one. And then you're like, wow, I can't believe it got this many people with this one. And then devil energy is like, wow, I can't believe I didn't get you with this one. And it's like, girl, like, they didn't tell you before you came over here? You didn't know? It's not going to be that easy. All right, so that's where I'm gonna end this. I hope everyone has a good whatever whenever you see this. I hope you again. I hope we're acting in alignment to get what we want. Um, and it starts at a very, very foundational root level. Like there are things that just have to be done if we want to get to where we go. Like if you want to go to Disney, you got to get a ticket, and you can get your ticket before you go to Disney, or you can get your ticket while you're at Disney. But at some point, to be granted admission, girl, you're gonna have to pay the price, right? You can't go to the window and just give them, I don't know, tears and a sad story, and they're like, okay, yeah, just go ahead. It's like what you're going to be met with at the window is somebody who's like, ma'am, sir, I'm not trying to lose my job. I understand, but I'm sorry, I can't allow you into the park, the theme park. And you're like, you can't allow me, or you won't allow me, because you could allow me into the park. You're just choosing not to. And then the person is like, well, you can't buy a ticket, or you won't buy a ticket, because if you wanted access to the park, you'd buy the ticket instead of trying to get me fired, girl. And sorry, not sorry, you're not worth my job. You're not. If I let you in, everybody would be coming to me with a sad story and tears. The sad, sad tears of a clown. I don't know why that just popped into my mind. Who was that? That was, it's a song. I didn't know it was a song, but that was Ginger Minge as Adele on the Snatch Game. She was like, the sad, sad tears of a clown. And then it just popped into my mind. So I ain't calling nobody a clown, but if you think you're going to clown somebody else when it comes to spirit, ultimately at the end of the day, you're clowning yourself. So go ahead, put on the face paint, put on the nose, put on the wig, girl, and the big shoes, and dance. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Maybe I just need to like stay away. But again, like it's not the time to be. Now is the time to be on it if you've never been on it before. Now is the time to like get on it and to be on it. And it kind of sort of feels like we're holding, it's like we're stretching time to make way for some people to finally get on their path. Or not finally get on it. But it's like we're making as much room as we can, and we're stretching things out. And while things are stretched out, it's like there are things still happening in the world. So the quicker we can get to the new, the better. The quicker you can get on your path, the better. I feel like I talk kind of heavily, but I don't want to discourage anyone from getting on and doing whatever it is that they need to do. Now, to be fair, your girl don't get a whole lot of views, but at the same time, it's not about the views. It's about the message, and it's about putting the message out. Because when I speak here, regardless of if they're here or not, I'm speaking to the collective, right? And that's why I said a while ago, it's like, here I have the ear of the collective because I'm in a collective space. I am introducing this into the collective space, trying to manifest people breaking their own chains. Because when we do it for ourselves, that's when we come into our power. That's when we come closer to the truth of who we are. And it's one of the things that, for good reason, other people can't necessarily do for us. And when they do, what happens is people tend to give their power to the person who freed them. And it's time out for all that. So that's why I continue to do this. It doesn't really affect me too much. Honestly, I feel like I get through these even quicker, less distracted by other people. And then it's like, well, why don't you just do it pre-recorded? Because when I do it live, I'm engaged in this space, like I already said. So I will catch y'all later. Jamata Ashta, probably. See y'all tomorrow, probably. I don't even, probably, is that Tabun? Is Tabun probably? Let's see. Hey Siri, how do you say probably in Japanese?
In Japanese, probably is Tabun.
Tabun, hey, your girl, she knows stuff. She memorized. Not memorized, but yeah. Tabun. I know a little bit more than I think I know. And when it comes, yeah, especially on here it's just like, oh, it's all coming to me. Like, okay, I need to be on here. Maybe next time I take an exam or something, I need to just like go live so my brain functions. Also, girl, I'm still working on the same project. Your girl thought she was done, right? She finally got her program to run, and the data looked real nice. Now, when the professor was like, oh, where's your temperature profile information? I look at that temperature profile. I'm like, this thing is getting hot way too quick. Ain't no way it should take me a whole minute and some change to get this thing sterilized. But within a few seconds, she's reaching maximum temperature. Something ain't right. Also, a minute seemed really low to me. But I was like, well, maybe it's just super effective. And so I go back in and I'm like, I'm looking at my numbers. Because again, so what I did yesterday, and this is extra stuff, so feel free to click off here if you watch this far. But yesterday I came on and I was talking about how instead of changing the variable that I wanted to, I was changing all the other ones. So yesterday what I did was I went in to change the variable that I wanted, but then the other variable was messed up. So I was like, okay, that was a logical approach. Yes, but there are still constraints on that. And then what I've been doing is I've been looking at homework that I completed for this project before, and I'm comparing the numbers that I got to the numbers that they got, and then I saw something else that I just completely forgot to put in. So there's this one number that affects the time, right? And I've been looking at this. It's a number within the equation to get the third variable, right? And I'm like, well, I can't get a decent time because this number is too high, but I just thought it was what it was, right? And so I was like, you know what? Let me go back to the data and let me check and make sure I had the units right. Turns out, girl, there was a power of 10 to the minus 7. And maybe this is reflective of what was going on over here. I was missing a power of 10 to the minus 7. Now, 10 to the minus 7 is a tenth of a milli. No, a tenth of a nano. Because a milli is 10 to the minus 3. 1,000 millis make 1, right? A nano is 10 to the minus 6. So 100,000 nanos makes 1. This was like a tenth of a nano. And that's why my number was so big. And that's why my time was so small. And that's like, there's this, it's like, there's like this grain of sand that I've turned into this whole sandcastle mountain that was supposed to be a single grain of sand. It's like, girl, why are you looking at this like this is grand, luxurious sandcastle, this live-in sandcastle, when it's like a single grain of sand on the beach, girl? Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh my gosh, no wonder. So now, and it's like I intentionally went through everything, but I didn't cross-check anything outside of the program because I thought I did it right. But I was like, you know what? Something in here don't make sense, so let me compare the numbers. And then that's when I found it. So, again, I thought it's like, why did I make all these dumb mistakes? But at the same time, I know that when it comes time for me to complete this, it will be complete. When it comes time for this to be ready, it will be ready. So in the meantime, I'm just gonna keep doing it, right? Because it's more symbolic than it is anything else. It's like real 3D life, but it's also symbolic for all of the other stuff going on. And so, with that, I close this down, and I bid thee all a good time. Yeah, Jamata Ashta, see y'all probably tomorrow. Jamata Ashta, Tabun Jamata Ashta. Jamata Tabun Ashta, see y'all probably tomorrow. And how do you say have a good time? I don't know. Oh, wait, good time. Um, E is good. Jikan is time. Have a good one. Jamata. Let's see you later. I feel like I should know what it is. I know Kimochi ga ii is like feeling good. Kimochi ga warui is like not feeling good. Anyway, I'll catch y'all later. Ja